This video is made for adults with cystic fibrosis attending St. Vincent's University Hospital who have previously been assessed and guided to do these exercises. Exercises carried out at home are done so at your own risk. Hi folks, Ronan here. Delighted to be bringing you the first exercise video developed by St. Vincent's University Hospital in conjunction with UCD. We're going to spend about 30 minutes today focusing on building your global strength. Just a few ground rules before we get started. Make sure whatever device you're watching us on, be it a phone, an iPad or a laptop, that it's on a stable surface that you can keep an eye on us throughout. Make sure you're wearing clothing that's appropriate for exercise and that you have plenty of space around you to perform the exercise. Make sure that any trip hazards such as rugs, mats, family pets, that kind of thing are out of the way. If there's anybody in the house with you, just maybe let them know that you're going to be exercising for the next 30 minutes. You might want to consider performing some airway clearance before we start, or even checking your blood glucose levels if you've been advised to do so. Similarly, if you are using supplemental oxygen for exercise, make sure that it's set up, turned on, and ready to go. You want to make sure that you're well hydrated before you start exercise and also throughout the class, so have a bottle of water nearby that you can sip at if needed. And the only equipment that you'll need is a dumbbell. If you don't have a dumbbell to use for a weight, maybe just fill up a bottle of water with water, or even heavier with sand, and we can use that. It'll be absolutely perfect. The most important thing is that you're exercising at a level that is appropriate for yourself, as discussed with your physiotherapist. This is a higher intensity class. There are separate videos for an intermediate level and for a basic level. So if these exercises are too tough for you, maybe have a look at those videos first. We want you to stop exercising immediately if you have chest pain, if you're feeling faint or lightheaded. Similarly, if you're excessively short of breath, excessively fatigued, or you're suffering from muscle cramp, you want to stop as well. If you have any comments, queries, questions, or otherwise about this video, please do feel free to give us an email at the email address on screen. This exercise class is going to be performed by Aisling, a third-year UCD physiotherapy student, and I will be prompting you through it throughout. Okay, let's get ready to go. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to do is the squat. It works the muscles at the front of the thigh or the quads and the muscles in the bum, which are called the glute muscles. You're going to start off setting your feet hip distance apart, drawing your belly button towards your spine. You're going to slowly bend at the knees, dropping your bum towards the floor. At the bottom, you're pausing briefly and then push back up to the start, just making sure that you return to the fully extended position at the top. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to start off with 10 repetitions of this. So we'll drop down for our first rep and return to the start position again. So we just want to make sure that we keep breathing throughout all these exercises. No breath hold allowed. We want to keep our backs nice and straight, dropping our bum as far to the floor as we are comfortable to do so, and extending our hips to the top again. We've got 2 more repetitions to go. And 10. Okay, so we're just going to move that weight out of the way now. Place it to one side, giving yourself lots of space for the next exercise, which is the push-up. We're going to demonstrate it. You recover from your last exercise. The push-up works the pec muscles of the chest and the triceps at the back of the upper arm. Come down onto the floor. Hands are shoulder width apart and underneath your shoulder levels. Extend the legs fully up onto your tiptoes, bringing the belly button towards the spine to control your core. You're going to bend at the elbows to lower yourself towards the floor, pushing back up to the start of the movement. Keep the neck nice and long and controlling the core throughout. So we're going to do 10 repetitions of this exercise. So come down and join us on the floor when you're ready. And we'll start for repetition number 1. So if this exercise is getting a little bit tough for you, you can make the legs just a little bit wider to give yourself a wider base of support. You want to keep your neck nice and long throughout this exercise, avoiding any unwanted movement in the core pelvic region, keeping it all nice and controlled, and breathing throughout. 1 rep left and relax. Okay, so let's let the arms recover from that exercise, and we're going to show you the next one, and you're going to need your dumbbell again for this exercise. It's the lunge. It's going to work your quads at the front of your thigh and the hamstrings at the back of your thigh, as well as the glute muscles of your bum. Great functional exercise to really get the heart rate going and the breathing working hard. You're going to start in a stride stance like so. Keep your feet hip distance apart. You're going to keep the trunk straight, bring the belly button towards spine, and slowly lower your back knee towards the floor, and then rise back up to the start position. You're using a dumbbell for this exercise just to make it a little bit more challenging. You want to use a weight that's appropriate to allow you to get 10 repetitions done, but that it is a challenge to do so. When you're ready, join in, and we're going to do 10 repetitions on the first leg, have a little break, and move to 10 repetitions on the second leg. So let's get ready to go, and we're starting off our first repetition. Let's go down towards the floor, and that's 1. Well done. Just have a little look at that front knee, that it's not traveling too far forwards. If you look down, you should be able to see the toes of your runner, and also make sure that the knee is nice and strong. It's not wobbling in or out, keeping the trunk nice and straight, nice and tall. Shoulders are back, looking straight ahead. We've got 2 more repetitions to go. And relax. Come back up into a stand. This exercise can really get the breathing going. Like I said, if you need to take a break, do so. Otherwise, we're going to change legs and we're going to get into 10 repetitions. Let's get ready to go. And lower for the first one, drive back up to the top. Again, thinking of keeping the belly button towards the spine for this exercise. Shoulders back, nice and strong in the top half, not having any movement. Weight is close to the chest. Monitoring that front knee all the time, that it's nice and strong, nice and stable. 2 more repetitions to go. Last one. And relax. Catch your breath. Okay, so recover after your lunges, and for the next exercise you can place the dumbbell to one side, make sure it's out of your way, just so you have plenty of room. For the next exercise you're going to need a kitchen chair, so get that organized now. Make sure you place it against the wall so that it's not going to shoot out from behind you when you start to exercise. So for this exercise, which is the tricep dip, working the back of the upper arms, you're going to sit on the edge of the chair and grip the edge next to your hips. Your fingers should be pointed forwards. Your legs are extended and your feet should be about hip width apart, heels touching the ground. Bend your elbows to lower your bottom towards the floor and slowly push yourself back up to the start position. Okay, when you're ready, join in and we're going to do 10 repetitions of this exercise. So repetition 1, lowering as far as you're comfortable to do so before returning to the top. The key here is to not let your shoulders drift up towards your ears, especially as you get tired, so shoulder blades are back and down. This is an arm exercise, so the arms are doing all of the work. I'm going to push right back up to the top of the range of movement. You've got 2 more repetitions to go. Last one, and slowly take a seat back on the chair again and recover. Okay, so we're moving on to the last exercise of the set. It's the bridge. We're just going to move that chair out of the way and bring in your exercise mat. This exercise targets the glute muscles in your bum and the hamstrings at the back of the thigh. It's also a great one for the core and for the lower back. So we're lying on the ground with our knees bent and our heels on the ground. We're going to extend one leg out in front of us and the other foot is flat on the ground. And we're just going to think about using our glutes to raise ourselves up in the air and returning back to the ground under control. As we raise up, we're not going to let our pelvis dip to either side. It's nice and controlled throughout. We're going to do 5 repetitions on that leg and then change to the other leg for a further 5 repetitions. So when you're ready, come down onto the floor, get yourself into position. We're going to extend one leg out in front of us, and we're going to start with our first of 5 repetitions. So rise up into the air, not letting the pelvis dip one side or the other. Movement is nice and controlled throughout. There's no dropping, crashing down onto the mat. Keep the breathing under control. We're going to do one more repetition, and then we're going to change to the other side. So now change feet, and we'll perform 5 on this side as well. Getting a nice distance between the ground and your bum, always under control. And we've got one more repetition to go. Return to the floor. Just roll onto your side. Now we have been doing a little bit of exercise, so roll onto your side before coming vertical and have a stand up. Great, that's one set done. We'll just move on to do another 2 and 3rd set. Okay, so we've now learned how to do all of those exercises. We're going to do our 2nd set in a circuit-like fashion. We're going to start off with the squat. The main teaching point is that the feet are hip distance apart. We're lowering our bum to the floor by bending the knees. So when you're ready, let's start off with our first repetition. Keeping the back nice and straight as we go through these reps. Holding onto the dumbbell, keeping it nice and close to the chest. Working through the full range of movement, extending the hips right through to finish the movement at the top and getting as low as we're comfortable to go. Keep working. We've got 2 more repetitions to go. And relax. Good stuff. So we're going to bring it into our press up now. Place the weight out of the way and bring in our mat. Remember, we're doing a full push-up here. So again, hands are underneath the shoulders and our shoulder distance apart. We're extending our legs right the way out onto our tiptoes, bringing the belly button towards spine, and we're dropping down for our first repetition. So we're going down towards the floor, returning to the start by pushing through the elbows. Those legs can be a little bit wider apart if you need a little bit more support. Really feeling the burn in the arms now, keeping the core engaged, belly button towards spine. 2 more repetitions to go. Last one. Fantastic. Just come down onto your knees. You might need to take a little breather between that and our next exercise, which is the lunges. So just take a little sip of water if need be. Otherwise, we'll raise up into a stand, get the mat out of the way, and find our weight again. We're going to do 10 on each leg, and we're going to take a little break in between just to catch our breath. So when we're ready, we're going to move into a stride stance. Feet are hip distance apart. Back is nice and straight. Going to bend the back knee for repetition number 1. And back up to the start position. Again, just keep an eye on that front knee, that it's not wobbling in or out, and that it's not traveling over the toes of the front foot. Keep looking straight in front of you. Like we say, this is the oxygen user, so just make sure you're controlling your work of breathing. We've got 2 more full repetitions to go. And last one. And relax. Okay, we're just going to take a little breather now, catch your breath. Just in terms of the weight for these exercises, we want it heavy enough that it's challenging you, but light enough that you're able to do 10 repetitions. If you think you'd do significantly more than 10 repetitions, you need to get yourself a heavier weight. When you're ready, we're just going to change legs, back into our stride stance, feet shoulder width apart, and drop down for rep number 1. Shoulders back, head, neck, and spine is in line all the time. Keeping the belly button towards spine, keeping that core working. Nice, even pace that we can control our breathing. Two more full repetitions to go. Last one, and relax. Okay, again, catch your breath if you need to. The next exercise you need to pull in your kitchen chair for, it's the tricep dip to work the muscles at the back of the arm. As you have a sit on the chair, if you want to pause the video just to catch your breath, take a little sip of water, or even if you need to check those blood glucose levels. Otherwise, we're sitting onto the chair, our legs extended out in front of us, and our hands are beside our hips, fingers facing forward, and we're dipping down into our first repetition of tricep dips. So bum travels towards the floor and is returned to the top by using the elbows to drive us to the top of the movement. We're watching that our shoulders don't go too close to our ears here. And it's an arm exercise. The arms are doing all of the work, making sure we're going through the full range. 1 rep, and relax. Have a little sit on the chair again if need be. Catch your breath. When you're ready, have a stand and move that chair out of the way. We're moving on to the last exercise of the set, which is the bridge. So pull your mat over if you're using one. And then have a lie on the floor. Remember, this is a single leg bridge, so we're going to do 5 repetitions on one leg, change to the other. Our feet are hip distance apart, one leg extended out in front of us, and we're going to rise up for our first rep when needs be. That's 1. Slow and controlled to the floor all the time. Breathing under control, no breath holds. That's repetition number 4. We've got 1 more to do. Slowly return to the ground. Change over legs. Once you've got it under control, we'll raise again. We're not letting our pelvis dip side to side as we do this movement. It's all about controlling the core. 2 more rises to go. Last one. Return to the floor. That's our second set done. Well done, guys. We've got 1 more to go. When you're recovered from that exercise, have a roll onto your side, onto the knees. Take your little sip of water if needs be. Then we're going to stand up and get ready for our 3rd set. Of note, if you want to pause the video to take a little bit of a breather, recover a little bit more, you're not going to get any less out of this exercise session. We want you fully recovered before you engage into the 3rd set. The 3rd set is all about developing muscle fatigue. So if you can manage to get the 10 repetitions done, that's fantastic. If not, do whatever you can do. We also want to make sure that throughout all of these exercises, we keep our belly button towards our spine, we're keeping that core working, and our form is good throughout the exercises. When you're ready, we're going to get started again. So let's come into our squat. Equipment is all out of our way, making sure we have loads of space to do our exercise throughout. Pick up your dumbbell. Keep it close to your chest. Your feet are shoulder width apart. Let's start with repetition number 1. Dropping the hips and the bum as low as we're comfortable to do so before rising back up to the top. Keeping the back nice and straight. Feet are shoulder width apart. Driving back up through the feet to the start of the movement. Shoulders are back, breathing is under control. You've got 2 more to go. 1 rep left. Return to the start and relax. Fantastic. We're into our push-up next, so maybe just move that dumbbell out of the way. Get your mat sorted if you're using one, otherwise just bring yourself down towards the floor. We're going to be getting tired now into the 3rd set of full push-ups. If you can't manage the full ones, maybe just bring it to the knees as we do in the intermediate video. Otherwise, we're going to go for a full 10. Extend the legs out behind you. Hands are shoulder width apart. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, neck nice and long. And we're on to repetition number 2. Well done. Those feet are just a little bit further apart if need be to give you more base of support. Head, neck and spine are in line. As low as we're comfortable to go. Returning to the start. We've got one more rep to go. Last one, really working hard now. 10 done. Well done, guys. And have a rest. Take a breather after completing that exercise. We're ready to go into the oxygen user, the lunge. So when we're ready, we're just going to have a stand up, move the mat to the side, and grab our dumbbell. Again, the dumbbell stays nice and close to the chest for this exercise. We're into a stride position, and we're going to go for 10. So when we're ready, drop that back knee towards the floor and back up. As we're getting tired, the front knee may start to move and wobble a little bit more. Have a little look at it, make sure that it's still nice and strong, not traveling forward, not traveling side to side. Keep the shoulders back, the core strong, the trunk strong. We've got 2 more full repetitions to go. Last one, and we're going to change legs. Remember, it's okay to pause the video between these exercises if needed. We want you to have recovered your work of breathing. We want you to have recovered from the breathlessness. Have a pause, have a drink of water if needed. If not, we're going to change legs and we're into our second 10 lunges. Okay, and repetition number 1. We're going down towards the floor, rise back up to the start again. Like we say, this can really increase the work of breathing, so keep it under control, really starting to feel the burn in the quads and the hamstrings as we work through these exercises now. Again, keep the head up, shoulders back. 2 more reps to go. Last one, and relax. Superb stuff. Let's get that dumbbell out of the way again. We're finished with that for today. We're just going to bring in our kitchen chair and place it against the wall. Again, making sure that it's nice and stable before we start doing any exercises on it. The triceps are really working hard from these press-ups and dips now. So we're sitting on the edge of the chair, fingers facing forwards, legs are extended. Let's drop down for rep number 1. Return to the start. We're going to be getting tired at this point, guys. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Keep the arms and the triceps doing the work. It's not a leg exercise, it's an arm exercise. Make sure we're moving towards as much range of movement as we can, dropping that bum as low as you're comfortable to, really feeling the shake and the burn in the triceps. We've got 2 left, 1 to go. Finish it strong. Well done. And relax. Good stuff. Have a sit on the edge of the chair. Take a drink of water if needs be. We're on to our last exercise. We need to move that chair out of the way so we have lots of room, and we're going to bring our mat over so that we are ready to do our single leg glute bridge. 5 on one leg, change 5 on the other leg, and you've done a great strength session for today. So lying on the mat, one leg extended in the air in front of you, the other one is on the floor. We're lifting up for repetition number 1, return to the floor under control, rep 2, making sure that we're not dipping the pelvis side to side, that we're bringing our belly button towards our spine. 1 more repetition to go on this side. And let's change legs. Really important, we're not holding our breath on these exercises, so breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. We've got 3 repetitions to go. Finish it strong now, stay strong. Last repetition, and lower to the floor under control. When you're ready, just have a roll onto your side. When the breathing is under control, up onto the knees, and have a stand. Exercise session done for today, folks. Well done. We're looking for you to do this exercise session. We're always keen for feedback, questions, queries, comments, or otherwise. Please feel free to drop us a line at the email address on screen, cfphysio@svuh.ie. Thanks very much and well done.